Welcome to Who's Right, What's Left. I'm your co-host, Melissa Reinhart.
And I'm Matt Neubauer. We're here to discuss some of the important issues that face Americans today and have some civil discourse and banter between friends and parties.
Who's right?
What's left? Melissa.
Matthew.
Why are you a Democrat?
We're just going to go right in there,
Just going to go right into it.
You know, I was raised in a staunch Democratic family. I identify with this party because I've always seen it as the party that has ensured certain protections, whether it's the women's right to vote, the Social Security Act, Civil Rights Act, those kinds of things, the Affordable Care Act, which, you know, we could dedicate a podcast to if you'd like to down the road. But those are the certain protections that, you know, have meant a lot to me, and I've reaped the rewards of, so to speak. And, you know, especially too with the connections with organized labor and whatnot. I come from a big union family and really proud of that. And yeah, I mean, that's why I'm a Democrat.
Okay, I see that. Some of that. I'm a pro-union Republican, so that's a little odd.
Oh.
But yeah.
Oh, we'll have to talk about unions.
Yes, we will. Some of them
Okay.
I like better than others, but yeah. What inspired you to be an anthropologist?
Well, we're about the same age. Do you remember when the King Tut exhibit came through the United States? It was on tour in the
Yes.
70s.
Yes.
So my dad subscribed to National Geographic, and I remember looking at those photos, and I was so intrigued. I thought, wow, I want to go discover things in Egypt. So I actually started off as an archaeologist, appropriately, and I did do quite a bit of archaeology here in the Midwest and out west. But decided I didn't really want to dig around in the dirt. You know, I have lots of archaeology friends, but I prefer having conversations with people. Shocker. And that's why I gravitated to cultural anthropology. So I worked with Native American tribes for like 20 years. But, you know, all things diversity is really something that
Yeah, oh, it's
I just
fascinating.
love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fascinating. That's one of the things I know we agree on.
yes.
Just
Oh,
cultural.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you did a little bit of work on the Gronauer Lock over by New Haven when it was...
Well, my
down?
friends did, yeah. I was doing archaeology that summer when that was found in Illinois along the Illini River.
Okay.
But my brother and some friends were working at the Grunauer Lock. So, yeah, my brother did archaeology for like 5 minutes, was on the news that day, and then never did it again. And I'm like, I did it all summer long. I'm like, what? This isn't right.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, I love my field. It's really taught me how to think critically, do my due diligence and research, and just to be open-minded about the world around us.
Yeah,
Which is, you know, we're friends. So, hey.
absolutely. Well, and that's going to lead into what inspired you to get into politics.
My dad was a lobbyist for what was then the Fort Wayne Chamber of Commerce. And I went down 2 years in a row when I was in middle school to Page in the State House. And I was really intrigued. I mean, you know, it's such an impressionable age. And I was down there looking at all the marble and, you know, it felt so important. I thought, I want to be a part of the decision making for the laws that Hoosiers need to abide by. And I thought, well, this is going to be my goal. Well, it went dormant. I got bit by the anthropology bug. And it wasn't until probably, I don't know, 30 years later, with a certain election, I got reinvigorated to look into politics and become more engaged. And so, yeah, I've run for office a few times and unsuccessfully, but I've learned a lot. And I've learned a lot about my community and how important local politics is, as you well know. So very important.
Yes. Yes, and that's one thing I do appreciate about you that I hope people understand with our Republican-Democrat difference. You put in the work. Like, you really
I worked my tail
put in the
off
work.
last
yeah,
year.
and
Oh, my
not just
goodness.
to get elected, but like to research and see what was going on. And some of these people run and just stay in and just, you know, go to their 2 meetings a month and collect the check. But you actually did so much research with each different division and department to see what was going to be happening.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely appreciate that. What's something about you that might surprise people?
Oh, pick a time period of my life. Um, Everybody knows I was a single mom because I adore my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a surprise. You know, working with Native peoples, I got to experience a lot of spiritual events.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
not that I really want to talk about them in great detail, but I did do a sweat lodge on the
Nice.
Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota a few years ago, and that was pretty darn
That's-
transformative. Yeah, I'd never been so hot in all my life. But when you walk out, it is just so cathartic. It's really hard to explain, and you felt lighter, and yeah, it was pretty amazing.
That's a
So,
big honor too. I mean,
It really
they don't
was.
share that with everybody
It
necessarily.
really,
There's some
it really was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Why do you want to do this podcast?
Because I adore you.
Of course. Who doesn't?
Well, because we do know how to have conversations about tough topics, and sometimes, you know, actually more often than not, it's usually done through humor, like we say elsewhere. But I think, like when I was interviewing you, we can't have safe. It just feels like we live in a culture where it's really hard to have safe political conversations. And if you and I can do it and find some common ground, or just turn around and say, you know what, I just disagree, or we make a joke of it, we're still friends.
Absolutely.
So, you know, is that possible with everyone? I mean, if you met someone who was super far left, you know, maybe you would feel, because you and I are pretty centrist, really, when it comes
Yeah,
to, because of
I
our
think that's
shared
fair.
background
That's
in the
fair.
social sciences, social work. You know, and, you know, someone on the far right might get under my skin in a way that you don't, although you do, but differently.
Yes.
More just because you like to poke the bear. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's good. I think we need to have more of these conversations, and I want people to see through us and others that you can do this. Maybe not with everyone all the time, but
Absolutely.
it is possible. And we're putting ourselves out there right now because
Oh, yeah. Well, but the conversation's so important to have.
It is.
I mean, it's so important to have, especially with the country the way it is. You know, and things, we've got important things happening and going on. Important, dangerous things that need to be discussed, should be discussed.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
Agreed.
What is a skill or hobby you always wanted to learn but haven't yet?
Oh, geez. I'm terrible at sports. There isn't one sport I can do well. Like, it's a sob story, right? I was always the last person picked in gym class. It's the honest to God truth. And it's just like, I just wanted to be really good at a sport for one day. Like, you know, if I could dunk or whatever.
Yes.
That's just never been my forte.
That's
So,
fair. That's
yeah.
fair. All right. What's your favorite way to relax or unwind after a busy day?
Well, I don't smoke cigars, although I have, and I do enjoy it. I like to just tinker around my garden outside. I'm not like some master gardener or anything, but I like to water my flowers and see what kind of vegetables I can grow. I don't listen to music. I'm just quiet. I just get quiet. Yeah.
No, I can relate. That's a good day for
Yeah.
sure. Day in the yard.
It is a good day.
Absolutely.
And I love where I live. I live in the heart of the O5. And one of my favorite places to go, and you and I have met there, is the Village Tap. So
Yes.
shout out to the Village Tap.
Absolutely.
It's a neighborhood bar / restaurant, and it's really yummy.
That's a great place.
It
They're
is a
doing
good
They're
place.
doing a really nice job.
They really
with that.
do. And
Yep.
their food features on Facebook are amazing.
Yes, 100%. All right, now for the serious question.
Jeez.
Get serious for a minute. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Why? Can I steal yours about speaking different languages?
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, is a superpower being able to travel and having the money to do it? Or if I could travel for free?
I
is
was
that a
thinking more like
superpower?
DC or Marvel. That's more like a rich people. That's a bougie thing.
Really? Did you
I
just
think
say
so.
that to me?
Is it? I don't know. Free travel? Maybe one day the government will get into air travel. And
I knew you were going to go there. I knew it. If my eyes could roll back in my head, they'd probably stick right now.
Democrats can give more stuff away.
Oh, here we go. My superpower. I like Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
So if I had that gold lasso,
Oh, I thought
to
you were
you
going to go
right
for
now.
the invisible jet.
Or the invisible jet. Yeah.
That's your answer?
I think so.
All right, bet. No, we'll go with that. What's the most ridiculous fact you know?
Oh, jeez. I don't know if it's ridiculous, but a lot of people don't realize we used to have bison in all of the lower 48. And I
Yeah.
just know that because of my studies with Native peoples. You know, the Lincoln Tower here in Fort Wayne was the first skyscraper in Indiana. Most
Yeah.
people don't know that.
That's
You know,
true,
I've got all
true,
kinds of
true.
random facts. So, yeah. I don't know if it's ridiculous.
No, it's not ridiculous. They've got a bison farm right up in Leo, Indiana. Have you seen that?
Yes. And did you know, I just found out there's one over off of Boyd. There's one in
Oh.
Allen County. They
Really?
have elk and bison.
Oh,
It's
that's
called the
awesome.
LC Nature Park. Yeah, the Brooks family from Brooks Construction
Are they
own that.
Are they for petting or for eating?
You don't pet bison,
Okay.
but I don't think they slaughter or sell. No, I
Just
mean it
run
really
for
is
fun?
for conservation. I don't
Okay.
know, and they have a lot of Indiana native plants and whatnot.
Nice.
So it's kind of like yesteryear of
I'd
Indiana.
love to check that. I had no idea that was out there. I'd love to check that.
It's pretty amazing, and
Cool.
you have to call ahead to organize a tour. But like, you could take your kids. That would be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Maybe we could take the show on the road. I don't know.
Absolutely. Do a podcast with a bison in the background.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
We're gonna watch Detective Pet a Bison.
As long as you're, the slowest bison they have in the field.
I do like to eat bison though.
It's
Buffalo
so
is really
tasty.
good.
So
It is.
tasty.
It is.
Millions of Native Americans can't be wrong, right? Speaking of tasty bison, what's the most unusual food you've ever tried?
So the practice of pica is eating non-food substances as food. So my students, when I was teaching university, I taught the anthropology of food. It was the most enjoyable class. We got to try lots of fun foods and.
No, wait. Now, food that's not. Are you talking? It's like non-nutritive, or
It's
not
not
meant to
what
be
you. It's not necessarily meant to be eaten. So in this particular,
All
if
right.
you guys
I
could see
gotta
his
hear
body
more.
language
Yes.
right now.
I got to hear more.
So okay. So eating clay, white clay, and sometimes the red clay, like
Mm-hmm.
in Georgia, was eaten as like a side dish, as a filler, especially during the 19th century, and it's just kind of stuck. Like it's cooked with pork fat. It's just like,
Okay.
yeah. So anyway,
Wow.
but the practice is still very much like, and it's not all that uncommon. Like women who are pregnant that live anywhere, like they crave chalk or talcum powder. So they brought me, my students dared me to eat clay. So I ate clay in front of the whole class, and it just tasted like white chalk.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's
And
cool.
it wasn't fried in bacon fat. It probably would have been a lot more enjoyable. But I think I had that clay in my mouth for a good hour. It just found like it filled every
Kind of like,
every
I
pore.
bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, I still have a little. You know what? I still have a little bag of that.
Oh, I would never.
Okay.
No, and I would have to. I think I'd want to see. This is the first time hearing of it. I think if I saw some old school cookbook with bacon fat clay in it, I could be
You're
convinced.
not. It's gonna be. It's like
try
passed
it.
down. Like, it's passed down. No, like
the
there's been
recipes passed down.
no, the practice.
Oh.
The practice. Yeah. So like there have been lots of research studies done in the state of Georgia because a lot of rural Georgians
Mm-hmm.
still do that. So it was one of my students who came from rural Georgia that brought that for me. So
I'm gonna look that up.
I
I
will-
believe you. I'm just
I
saying
know,
before
I-
I try it. Before I try it,
I will give you resources.
I want to yes. I
Okay.
want to research that. Oh wait. All right. I think we both know the answer to this, but who will need to be bleeped out first? Yeah.
That would
Yeah,
be you,
That's
detective.
an easy. It's just they're sentence enhancers. They're not really meant to be aggressive.
Well, you know, we're
or
going to have
anything.
a conversation about what we want bleeped out.
Right.
I mean, it is a podcast. We're not
Right.
censored, but
Sixth graders aren't going to be listening to this, I'm guessing.
no, but you still, you know, we're still professionals.
Absolutely.
You're an elected official.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Absolutely.
yeah, we'll have to be continued.
Yes, absolutely. All right, what's your favorite vacation destination and why?
You know, the best place for me is a place with a beach, but also historical tours I can do and then go back to the beach. I like to have a little bit of history and a little bit of relaxation.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know,
Yeah.
I like staycations too. So,
Yeah.
but a beach is just amazing.
Yeah, beach is
Yeah.
nice. Beaches.
Get the sun.
Absolutely. All right. Surprise me, but be nice.
Yes. No.
Oh. All right, edit that out.
Yes, edit that out. That awkward. If you had anything you wanted to ask,
Well,
you don't have to.
so the last question's more of a comment because you told me in
Yeah.
the last one about your call after the election, but I will say, like I tend to vote pretty strictly with the party, but I tell you, if I lived in your district and knew the work that you put in and the research that you did, and just the sheer effort, not just to get elected, because we all try and do that, but
Want to
just
serve.
but to research what needed to be done once you're in, I really respect. I really
thank you.
respect, and that's why I think we get along so well. But because I know that no matter how you vote or how you feel on a topic, you genuinely are not doing it out of laziness. You've researched it, you know the facts, and you're doing what you genuinely feel is the best thing to do. And I
thank you.
I respect that.
Well,
as a
thank you.
politician.
I should have had you go out and knock doors with us. What was I thinking?
Well, that's not going to happen.
That's
with
not
the
gonna happen?
Republican yeah.
Really?
I don't think Uncle Steve would. I don't think he'd be too happy with that.
What about Uncle Derek? I don't know.
I
don't know.
I'm friendly with Derek. I see Derek all the time. I saw him this morning, as a matter of fact. We had a lovely conversation in front of the elevator.
I'm sure you did.
But yeah.
Maybe we'll have them on in future.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yes.
Future episodes. That'd be great.
Sounds good.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, and thanks everybody for listening and hanging in there. And more exciting things and topics are to come.
Can't wait.
For sure. It'll be fun. The opinions and views expressed on Who's Right, What's Left are Matt and Melissa's solely. They are not necessarily the views of the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, or either of the participants' employers. We'd like to thank our production team at Influencer.tv. For more information on how to start your own podcast, check them out at Influencer.tv.
And don't forget, you can like us on Facebook and Instagram. And you can listen and leave your 5-star review and share on both Apple and Spotify. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
These are important, critical conversations we all need to have with each other for the future of our country. Remember to be polite, make it fun, and we can all agree to disagree.